Amorim makes a big warning that any players that are causing trouble, any players that are causing problems at Manchester United, from leaks to maybe not being the best personality in the dressing room, or just players that aren't good enough, will be shipped out. Now, lucky for Amorim, 2 players want to be shipped out. 2 players want out of Manchester United. Now, one of them is Lindelof, who is obviously going to go anywhere on free, and he's looking for a move to Benfica. It's such a shame that Lindelof somehow seemed to get injured the last 3 transfer windows, so couldn't go there and is now going on free. But it is what it is. Now, we're going to talk about PSR. We're going to talk about sales. How easy is it going to be to sell certain players who Ruben Amorim wants out, and the situation there? We're also going to talk about Adam Wharton and midfield. There's a lot of interest in Adam Wharton from Manchester United. There always has been in a few midfield targets. And then we will talk about Manchester United's financials and what could be realistic in the transfer window, because I think a lot of people have always thought about that. So, hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news and transfer news roundup as well. There is also stories coming out that Liverpool is set to sign Kerkez, who was a Manchester United target, although we got Doru, so he's left the target, but I do like Kerkez. But there is some reports coming out from Alex Crook that he's quite close to move to Liverpool. But Alex Crook isn't tier 1, but I have a feeling he's going to go to Liverpool, in terms of other stories as well. But we're going to dive into this story first. Ruben Amorim has warned that any Manchester United players who he deems to be harming the team will be shipped out this summer. So this is players that aren't giving 100% in training. This is players that could be causing problems in the dressing room. This is players that are leaking information. This is players that are not good enough. They will be shipped out in the summer. Any player that is holding the team back, not giving 100%, not good enough, causing issues in the dressing room, not giving 100% in training, will be shipped out. Ruben Amorim believed that Marcus Rashford was harming the team. Even though Marcus Rashford, come on, he walks into that left-hand role, he's better than Garnacho. Let's be honest, whether you like Rashford or not, you know, he probably needed to go for his sake, and, you know, it was stale and it was probably the best decision for him to go. But he walks in that left-hand role. Marcus Rashford instantly improves this Man United side, whether you like it or not. But Marcus Rashford was not seen as giving enough in training. Marcus Rashford was seen as harming the team. Ruben Amorim didn't like Marcus Rashford, and that is an example of he will ship you out. You know, not just Rashford, but Casemiro, he wants out. Eriksen's going to go. Lindelof's going to go. Antony, shipped out. Players like Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, potentially he might say, look, you can't stay fit. We're going to try and ship you out. We probably won't, because they're always injured. But anyone that's seen as harming the team or causing issues will be shipped out. And Ruben Amorim, I think, has made it very clear that he is in charge. I think he's made it very clear that it's going to be different under Ineos. They've given him full authority, full backing. He's made it very clear he's in charge. He's been very clear with players, and we spoke about this in past years, where he's told them where they stand, if he thinks they've got a future at the club or not. He said to Eriksen and Casemiro, you're not going to play a lot because you can't do this and this. He said after one game of playing Rashford as striker, yet he's not a striker. Garnacho's on the bench a fair bit, coming off the bench rather than starting games. You know, Ruben Amorim is quite clear with Man United players and where they stand. And no one is like a guaranteed you're going to start every week, play every week, other than like Bruno, Ahmad, and maybe Dorgu now, which are probably the 3 players that deserve it most. I mean, Agate, you'd argue, starts every week as well. But he's very clear with United players where they stand. And I think that's good. I think he's very much trying to be in control. And I hope that Ineos allow him to be in control by selling those that he wants out. And I think Ineos will do that. So who are the players that want out? So Victor Lindelof wants to return to Benfica once his contract expires. That does not surprise me. I know it's sport witness, but I think Victor Lindelof, he wants out of United. I think he's running down his contract so he gets more choices. He can get a big signing on fee wherever he goes. And adios, Victor Lindelof. He's not been good enough. He should have been sold 2 years ago. Let's be totally honest. And then it was also said the other day, Antony told me he wanted to stay another year at Real Betis. The player is very comfortable here and was surprised by the facilities we gave him to settle in the city as soon as he arrived. All I'm saying is, you're in Seville, it's nicer than England, it's warmer than England, you're in a league that suits you, you're playing better football, the fan base is behind you, and you're still going to earn a decent wage. So Antony wanting to stay in Seville, it's good for him, makes absolute sense, it's good for us. We've now got to try and negotiate with Real Betis to find a permanent deal there. Real Betis will want to buy him for 15, 20 million. We want to sell him for 30 million, 40 million. I think we're going to have to go around 25 million. He might take a slight wage cut. Bish, bash, bosh. And we get Antony into Seville at Real Betis. Look, the Antony situation, all we can hope is he continues to do well at Betis and they're willing to pay more and more for him, because I want Antony to do well, and I also want us to get some money from selling him. He's not a Premier League player. He's doing well in Seville. There's no surprise that he wants to stay there, considering he's doing well. And let's hope that move can get over the line. But Lindelof will go. Eriksen will go. Heaton will obviously go because they're leaving on a free. Antony's expected to go. Sancho obviously will go. We're going to get some money for him as well. So we're going to talk about Man United ins, because for us to do ins, we need to do outs. So what is the situation in regards to outs and how easy it is? So Samuel Lutkos did some calculations. I won't include all the calculations. Do check out the full article. But I'm thinking of players that United could be looking to sell. Mount, if we want to make a profit, has to be sold for 33 million, which is ridiculous. That's not going to happen because he's always injured. So I think we'll be stuck with Mason Mount next season. Højlund, potentially we get 40 million for him, and that just about avoids us making a loss, because that's how much will be left on the revolving credit. And there is interest in Højlund, so it could be one to watch. But again, I think United might want to loan him to avoid making a big loss. Casemiro's got himself for 15 million. Again, it's going to be difficult because Saudi are sceptical. Onana must be sold for 28 million. So I don't think Onana's going anywhere. I don't think Mount is going anywhere. I think Casemiro could go, and I think Højlund potentially could go. But I don't think Mount and Onana will go anywhere for that reason. Dalot, I think, could potentially go, because I think he's a very good fullback in the back four, and people might see an opportunity because he's not a wing back. But I don't think Man United are desperate to get him out, even though he's been poor, because they know that actually he's one of the only players that can stay fit, can do this, can do that. But he's not been great. But the sale could be one to watch. Luke Shaw, again, injuries. I don't know if anyone goes for him, but Man United probably would let Luke Shaw go for the bare minimum because of his injuries. And then you've got Maino, Garnacho and Rashford. Any sale would be recorded as net profit because they're academy players. I think Garnacho will go. I think Shaw could go, but it depends on injuries. If I was going to say, I think Garnacho will go, and I think Casemiro they will try and get rid of, and I think Rashford will go. I think Antony will go. But that just shows you it's going to be difficult to offload players because Man United don't want to make a loss in the eyes of PSR. And that's why I'm quite confident that they might sell Garnacho, because that brings them a bit up in profit. I think Garnacho and Rashford go. Maybe there's a surprise sale for someone like Dalot there. They'll try and get Luke Shaw out, but I don't think he'll go. I think Mount will stay. I think Onana will stay. I think Højlund's one to watch, and I think Onana is one to watch. I think Maino will stay. It'd be crazy to write him off after one season where he's been injury-ridden. But that's the situation. Now, obviously, Man United need to sell to buy. And who are Man United looking at buying? So we know we're interested in the centre-back. We've been linked to Højlund a little bit. We've been linked to Braithwaite in the past. Obviously, Leach is out injured. Lindelof and Evans are set to go on a free. We know we're interested in centre-backs. I'd like Schlotterbeck. Luca Bar's one we've been linked to. Højlund's one we've been linked to. Braithwaite and Asio. They're all ones we've been linked to. I think we'll be looking at a centre-back. We also know we're going to be looking at another wing-back. It looks like Kenda is going to be nailed on. I still like us to go for Kirkus because Dorgu could play right wing back, but I think Kenda is nailed on for that role. We know that we obviously want a striker. Dilap, Osenham and Gyökeres have been heavily linked, and we know we're also looking at a 10. Cunha the most linked. There was links with Morgan Rogers, don't see happening. Arda Güler, definitely a possibility to watch. But the fifth position that United will look at, and this is before goalkeeper potentially, is Manchester United is midfield. Someone to play in the pivot, and Adam Wharton is definitely one that doesn't surprise me. We were linked to Subamende a couple of days ago, who is probably going to go to Arsenal. So I don't think we'll get Subamende, but we looked at Subamende in the summer, and I think profile-wise, he's what we need. Man United needs someone that's got the legs to cover ground in midfield, but also got the ability to make progressive passes. Bruno Fernandes plays deeper, and Ruben Amorim said this himself because he's like the only player that can do what Amorim wants us to do in terms of progressing the ball from midfield to attack. He's the only player that likes to play those passes and get the ball moving forward. So that's what United will want. Someone that can obviously cover lots of ground but play it forward. Now, Adam Wharton has been hit and miss this season because he's been struggling with injuries, but profile-wise, he could be that player, and he could be that perfect player for the pivot, a bit like Subamende. I said here that Ederson, Wharton, Subamende and Hackney have all been linked to Manchester United for the last month. What player would you say is the best fit for the double pivot role under Ruben Amorim? Clearly needs someone that able to progress the ball, but also has legs to play at high intensity and cover ground. I'd also include Angelo Stiller. For me, I like Stiller, but he's Bayern bound. I like Subamende, but he's Arsenal bound. Wharton could be overpriced, which brings us down to Hackney. I think Hayden Hackney is looking the most realistic one, and I've not watched loads of the Championship, but I saw a little bit of Middlesbrough Sunderland in a couple of games, and I think Hayden Hackney, I think he's 22 as well, looks ready to make that step up. But Chris Ruge I'd be sceptical about. I think he's still young, he's still raw. But someone like Hayden Hackney, I think could be ready to make that step up from Championship to Premier League. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Hackney and I'm okay with Kenda being younger players coming in. If we get someone like Schlotterbeck for centre-back, we get Cunha for 10, and we get someone like Gyökeres for striker, because then you've got that experience there. Because we've got so many young players that we definitely need some more experienced players coming into the squad. But let me know your thoughts down below. But it was said that United are budgeting going forward under the assumption that they will qualify for the Europa League for the next 4 years, and March change after years of budgeting to reach the Champions League knockout stages. Man United being very careful with finances, because there is that worry of, Unless we win the Europa League, we're not going to be in Europe next season, and that's going to massively impact our budgets. And if that's 2 seasons in a row without the Champions League, which will be for the first time in since I've been alive, that will massively impact our sponsorship deals and more. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.